Alright, what's going on YouTube? It's Mega Bobson back here again for another quick video. Try to make it quick as I can. Just give you a little update on what's been going on in my car. I haven't made a video in a while, so here's the deal. A couple months ago I was driving it and it just randomly shut off on me. The only codes that I were getting was evap codes, like the purge cylinder circuit, evap purge cylinder solenoid or whatever. Basically, purge cylinder canister right there, and then the other one is in the back of the car. You can look it up. Anyways, I kept driving it. It was doing okay sometimes in the morning, and then, in the morning it would shut off a lot more than the evenings. It would be good. And then it just got to the point where it kept shutting off all the time. So I started thinking there were some problems with the PCM. So one day I pulled up to my house. I decided I was going to take this PCM apart and look in there and see if there was any kind of burns or anything. But apparently on these PCMs you cannot take them apart unless you have like a heat gun and all this other bullshit. It's not just like screws. Okay, so whenever I took all this apart and everything and then I put it back together, I went to start my car and it wouldn't start. I was like, oh shit. So I was trying to figure it out. Couldn't figure it out for a while. I was like, couldn't get my car to start. Everything was good. Battery was good. So what I did is I went over here to start it. I went to the this is the starter relay, this one right here, and I just jumped. Basically it's the same layout as this one. I jumped from here to here and it kicked it on and started it up. But I wasn't getting a signal. Basically I wasn't getting a signal to the starter. There's a wire that goes down there to the starter, and I wasn't getting a signal down there, and I was like, what the hell, dude? So I was thinking that maybe it was my people were telling me about a neutral safety switch, so I bought a new one, changed it out, didn't do anything. Then I tried a new ignition switch, didn't do anything. Then I put a new starter on it, still didn't do anything. Which I know at this point I know that was dumb because of what was going on, because the car actually started, so that means that it wasn't actually the starter's fault because I jumped it here. So the starter was actually good. But the problem was I wasn't getting a signal from here to here through the ignition over there coming off of those wires. So I was running out of options. I still couldn't start the car. So I came over here, I started messing with these plugs again, and lo and behold, this one right here, which I have it down there at the moment, you'll see this plug right here that normally bolts down like right here. It's normally right there. Well, you'll know the reason I haven't moved in a second, but I just kind of messed around with it and whatever, and I tried to start, and the car started right up. Well, I had my son in the car holding the key down, and I was moving around, the car started up. So what that told me was, it's let's see here, it's pretty sure this middle wire, this middle wire right here, that sends the signal over there to the starter, and I wasn't getting good contact with that one. So it's one of these wires. Honestly, I can't remember which one it was, but it was one of these top wires right here. It sends a signal. But anyways, when I moved this connector around, it started up. So I said, okay, I got a problem with these wires. Then I noticed that whenever I would take this thing and I would bend it like this and put it, like, kind of bend the wires and put them down in there, just kind of keep them bent, that it would run better sometimes, but it still sometimes shut off. So I said, okay, I need to either get a new wiring harness and put on there or get a new connector or something. So I went to the junkyard. I got me a new wiring harness off of Crown Vic out there, and basically this is the harness that it's on this connector right here. Okay, Basically, it's this wiring harness right here. It's really simple to take off, and I haven't changed it out yet because today I was working on turn signals. But it's this wire right here. It goes around the motor. It just goes around the engine, and it goes into all your coil packs, your injectors, and it just basically goes around the motor like that. And then there's a tail that goes under there, and it goes under the car, and it splits around the transmission. It's really easy to do. Like it took me like not even an hour to take it off. But so once I got the car started and everything, next thing I know, I don't have any turn signals, and my blower motor doesn't work. It's like, what the hell? I did replace that canister over there, and I replaced the one in the back under the gas tank. It seemed to be running better. Also, I added some sea foam to it. I took sea foam and I pulled that vacuum hose off right there. I pulled it off the valve cover. I had my buddy out here helping me. So basically, I just pulled this hose off right here, and I was pouring sea foam in it while he was giving it a little bit of throttle. And once you pour the sea foam in it, it revs the motor really high on its own. I poured some in there, and then I poured some in here, and I also poured some in the gas tank, and it started running a lot better. First time that I've actually used sea foam. So after that, I was like, okay, I gotta get these turn signals working, because you gotta have turn signals. I don't feel like getting pulled over for that. So I've been trying and trying. Now here we're going inside the car. I've been trying everything. You can see I got the dash taken, like the thing taken apart here. And so I narrowed it down. Basically, the problem is you see this fuse right here? That's your turn signal fuse. Okay, it's fuse number 16 in your book. You can see it. And so when I would put a test light on it, it didn't have any power going to it at all. And my hazards would work. The turn signals wouldn't work. So I've tried following this wire all over the place. I tried messing around with the light control module under here, which is right there. That thing. I just kept messing around with wires, couldn't get anything to work. So I said, finally, I was like, screw it. I was like, if I get power to, well, basically, first thing, let me back up. There's some videos online where they're talking about bypassing it with a 12-volt flasher. They were talking about taking these wires, you go up here, and there's a guy online, and he says you take your, light blue wire, which is right here, and then you take your, what the hell's that? Dude, there's a freaking bug in here. Hang on. Come on, man. Get out of here. Get out. Jesus, dude. Get away. God damn it. You seriously come back? Ah, get off me, dude. What the hell? I'm trying to make a YouTube video. Jesus. Anyways. Sorry about that. So anyways, the video talks about taking that light blue wire right there, and then there's a pink and white wire, you can see right there, and he says you take these things and you put them on, where's it at? He says put them on a 12-volt flasher, which is one of these. So I tried that every which way and you can imagine. Did not work at all. Okay, there's a bug still on me. So it didn't work. My hazards would work, but it didn't work. And so I was like, dude, what the hell? That was a waste of $12. So I took the wires while they were apart, and I hooked onto the pink and white one, and then I just like took a gator clip on one end, and I poked a needle in this black and yellow wire. And all of a sudden, my blower motor turned on. I was like, what? Okay, that was cool. Now, the thing is in that fuse 16 down there, you have, this wire goes in there. And also, you have, there's that wire right, that gray wire with the yellow stripe on it right there. that wire also goes into that fuse. So you got 2 wires going into the fuse. Alright, that wire right there. You can see it down here. There's the black and yellow wire and the gray and yellow wire. So those are going into fuse 16. Now I wasn't getting any power on this wire at all, or this wire. Now, logically, it makes sense that when you turn the key on, now remember, I installed new ignition switch on this car, and I still didn't have turn signal, so it's not the ignition switch. But logically, you would think that you would get power. Now, the power going into ignition switch is that red wire right there. Okay, you see I got a pin in there right now. Okay, that provides power. That's the constant 12-volt hot power. And you would think that when you turn the ignition switch, it would provide power to that other wire and send the power down there, and fucking you would have power. But I didn't for some reason. So, what I did, and I'm going to make it look prettier and everything later, but this is just the preliminary, just kind of test results. But basically what I did, I stuck a, I guess you call it a bobby pin, into the red wire. I don't know if you can see it back there, but I got one going into the red wire. I got a gator clip on it, and I ran it through here, kind of wrapped around, get rid of the slack, and I stuck another bobby pin into this, into that fat wire right there, that yellow and gray. Stuck it in there. Boom! I got turn signals and I got a blower motor now. So that's what I got for right now, because I don't know what the damn problem is. I don't know why I'm not getting power to that wire. It doesn't make sense. All my fuses are good. You know, so just show you that I'm not lying here, I guess. I'll turn on my key. Boom, turn signals. They work. You can see them out there blinking. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is here. If anybody has any idea of why I'm actually not getting power there, that'd be great. I tried tracing that wire to the battery, you know, but that wire just goes from the ignition switch down to that fuse box. That big fat wire goes, it basically goes, it goes from here all the way down there. So if anybody can help me out, figure that out, that'd be great. But for right now, if you don't have turn signals and you're in a pinch, an emergency, and you don't want to get pulled over, just tap into that red wire right there. That's a 12-volt wire. All right, constant hot. And if that bastard down there is not getting power, give it power. Then boom, it's got power now. And what I'm going to do is probably just put a little jumper wire from that wire to that wire right up here or something. I'll make it look nicer. But unless I got any other, and then if I get any other ideas of what's going on, but I don't know. So that's what's been going on with the Crown Vic lately. Just thought I'd go ahead and post this video. Maybe it'll help somebody. And maybe somebody can help me. So there you go. Y'all have a good night. Thanks.